One, two, three. Mic testing.
To make some structural changes. Can a technical thing or a non-technical thing?
Hello and welcome to the episode 10 of the AIM Leaders Council podcast. Santosh, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty well, thanks. Very nice to be here. Excited.
Great. So Santosh, actually, in the last episode, we were just speaking with another member of the AIM Leaders Council, and we asked him, what are some of the cool innovations in AI and data science? And we were talking all futuristic things, right? He told about how sci-fi movies in the 90s became a reality today and what will become reality in 30 years. This conversation was a lot of ifs and whens and buts, right? So I just want to ask you, what is it that you expect to happen in 2023 or the near future? What is that AI that you are envisioning as a leader in the industry?
I'm envisioning AI getting into code manufacturing, AI getting into medical sciences a lot more than it is currently. Simple things, reading an X-ray. Can AI do it? Finding a vein automatically instead of someone pricking for blood tests. Is that a possibility? I think that's the real time. Talk about very computer-based AI. I think the AI will in the next 2 years will focus more on automation, simple automations, with the pure idea to cut down time. Something that is taking 2 hours today, can it take 2 seconds or 2 minutes? Don't expect the change to be that drastic. I expect any time or function to be reduced by, let's say, by 10, by a scale of 10. So that's what I'm envisioning. That's what I think will go into reducing the time, the TAT, as they say, turnaround time for anything to be shortened. I think that's what the AI will focus on in the next coming few years.
So safe to say AI is not taking over the world next year?
Oh, absolutely not.
At least not. Okay, fair enough.
Tomorrow, probably, and next year, no. No, jokes apart. But I think, we think AI as an extremely complicated thing.
Okay.
But I think you start to break down AI. It's actually extremely simple. It is not complicated. It is where you want to go and how you reach there to get to the things which seem complicated right now.
Correct.
Planes were complicated. Now it is not.
Yeah. We can fly now.
Planes can fly.
Planes
I assume hopefully we can fly soon. But it is about the journey that you have taken. It took 60 years to make it uncomplicated. And I think AI, we're talking about self-driving cars or anything, it will become uncomplicated over time.
Uncomplicated is the word.
Uncomplicated is the word.
Yeah.
And AI will make that uncomplication happen. That's what I think.
Correct. And to do that, so you run an analytics company, right?
Yes.
As a provider, as well as maybe as a consumer, where do you see these companies investing? What is the kind of talent that they will be investing? What is the kind of resources that they will be investing to make it happen?
I think data engineering is the field. If people are not focusing on their data architecture, I think that should be the focus. That should be the focus, and most of our companies are already underway. It's about figuring out how to capture data in small things. How does an AI function? If you think of it, it functions by having data. You should have a large enough training data which can emulate what a human is going to decide the next moment. So I can tell you what next is coming. And for that, it requires a lot of data. And I think that the facet of data collection, data management, how do you keep data, which can be used extremely actionably. I think that is going to be extremely important.
Yeah.
Converting structured data to unstructured data to structured will become that much more important. It is funny because you have all these softwares which change the sentences and create a different mood to it. Like one of the softwares have saying that hey, do you want this sentence to be written in a very tone of confidence, and it will change the sentence to you. It has some training that has gone behind. What does a confident sentence sound like, looks like? and I think somebody has collected data. So I think
one
that's
of the
going to become important.
one of the things, right? And we did a episode as well on this, the importance of data engineering, right? And that is going to play in the near future at least. I understand that data engineering might play a really crucial role, right? But we predict that it will grow as an industry in the next coming 5-6 years. After that, do you think everything will get automated? Because tasks in data engineering are automatable. Is that a word? Or can be automated. So like,
No, do I think data engineering go away? I don't think it will go away.
no?
Would the importance reduce? Probably, right? But I don't think it is going away. I think it is growing, and it will stabilize at some point in time. But I don't think it's going away. It will become an important thing. Just imagine you have self-driving cars. Now you want to get into self-driving space missions, or self-driving cars in Mars. I'm sure there is something to work on and collect data on all the time.
Correct. And so essentially you're saying that if we want to, in the first question you said that you want to automate, automation is the keyword, optimize or automate.
Correct.
Right, in the next coming years, and for that the solution is data engineering. What are some of the roles that different bodies have to play, right? So there's industry, which is where you stand. There's education, then there is the government in terms of policy. There's a lot of focus on heavy foreign investments in terms of setting up data centers as well, which is one. To see the AI in 2023 that you have envisioned, what is it that you are, what is the role of these three or other stakeholders to be played?
So I think industry should industry. When I'm saying industry, I'm talking about all the industry, services and the manufacturing and the medical. The industry per se have to have a vision. I think the creation and working towards that vision is of a data-based company, data-based decision making. I think that vision is extremely important. How to get it done is the service industry's job, saying, this is how we'll get it done. This is the latest technologies that can be used. Education, I think it is picking up, but it has to keep pace. Previously, academics in the Western countries used to be 10 years before the industries will use it. Now the gap has reduced to 1 to 2 years. So after the academicians have come up with a new ways of doing things, I think for the industry to adapt is 1 to 2 years. I think the teaching or the pedagogy has to shift now. How soon can I bring the research into action? In terms of students, in terms of the classes that we're taking, the courses we are taking, it has to get more practical. Theoretical, as I say, any question you ask me, my answer is, give me 5 seconds, it's a Google away. So you can Google any other technical things, but if I can learn the best theoretical things, but I don't know where to apply it, how to apply it, I don't know what to do with that, right? You might know, might be 100 out of 100, but if you don't know how do I use this knowledge, so I think it, as leaders in this space, it becomes our job. I think education and industry has to collaborate a lot more for that to happen. In sense that there are industry leaders going in, giving ideas and coaching and mentoring the students. I think the universities which are able to do that successfully will have the best students coming out.
But that has always happened, right? We have always talked about industry, academia, collaboration, and I don't know. I think we have been having this conversation for too long. Why are we being optimistic that 2023 is the year?
No, I think the fundamental thought process is changing. I'm not talking about the collaboration that I go and give a lecture, a visiting lecture in some organization, in some university. I think what I'm talking about is a person 50% in the corporate, 50% in academia. I think that kind of a setup has to come and will come in pretty soon. A setup where
why will it come in pretty soon? Like we had always given it time, right?
Because the talent gap is increasing. So if I have to, if as a industry person, if I have to bridge that gap, and I'm hoping that the universities are reading my mind and creating those things, it's not going to happen. So everyone has to do their bit. The universities will have to do theirs. The industry have to do theirs to figure out how do I create that overlap so that I get the people that I am looking for.
Acha, okay, so I think the urgency is going to come in from the industry side.
I think so.
Yeah?
It has to.
Because they are desperate for talent.
Absolutely.
That is what it is, isn't it?
It is. It is always that. I think, one of your articles, I think itself says that there might be a dearth of around 5 lakh data engineers over the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Last year or early this year, I'm not sure, but 5 lakhs. How are you going to generate 5 lakh data engineers that the gap is? Unless you're making every computer scientist become a data engineer.
Okay. So I think one of the best things that the AI industry is going to, because of the deficit, the talent deficit it is going to do, is improve the overall industry academia collaboration by a very organic way.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. We talked about research into action, and that reminded me of something that I was. There's a huge number of AI applications that are on the shelves, and I talked about this last episode as well. But then we were again talking in ifs and whens. What are some of those applications that are almost there, and they have you are yourself seeing them?
I think there is a lot of research, from my understanding, has gone on medical. I think it's right there. Medical. I'm saying simple medical. I'm not talking about creating twins and test tube babies and things like that. I'm not going there. What I'm talking about is simple medical enhancements. I do a test. Is there a better way to do a test? Is there easier way to predict what is going to happen to me 5 years down the line? What things, so I can start taking precautionary actions now. I think it is right there. There are some fabulous work getting done. I'll not name the companies, but I think it is there. It is just about how it can packaged and brought out without breaking privacies.
So it's interesting you bring up medical, right? And I don't want to comment on the overall healthcare of our country. It's a broad topic, plus I'm not an expert in it. But accessibility is definitely an issue, right? Everyone is talking about it. We need more coverage. We need more accessibility. Just because of lack of healthcare, there are numerous deaths in our country, right? But at the same time, all these inventions that we are doing in artificial intelligence, machine learning, as a client, we were talking about this, right? Most of these clients are providing for companies in the US or in the Western. So what is it that, how do you ensure that this AI in 2023 becomes accessible to Indians, not just Indians, everybody and anybody?
It will take time. It will absolutely take time. So internet became a fad in early mid 90s. Cryptocurrency is becoming a fad now. Both of them went against government regulations. So internet opened up communication, right? Communication was extremely easy, extremely fast.
Let me cut you there. Sorry. But internet started out in the US,
correct,
right? But that is not the case with AI. AI, a lot of it is being developed in India and we have niche AI players who are developing something from scratch. We are developing our IP, and that is there. But again, we are serving the clients not in India. So how can we change this? Why can't AI in 2023 be for anyone and everyone?
The industry works on capitalization, right? Everybody has to make money. No, it will come. I think there is a huge social cause or social benefit of AI. But till the time, as industry personals ourselves, not saying money is important, but unless a money is made, it going to social causes becomes difficult, right? Or the governments have to take up development of AI.
Okay, that's a good point.
Right. So will the governments take up It can.
The
but
government has the money to kind of make it more accessible.
It can.
Can it afford the rates that the US clients are?
Oh, I think government can do anything, right?
Yeah.
But they have enough money. But again, the thing is, should the government take up? My answer is absolutely no. I think
Why?
because I think too much interference. Government has a job to create. We don't want to take back to the players that there is a restriction on everything you do. People were talking. Internet came. Hey, restrict the communication, because previously, if you, and I'm going back to my talking point before, internet made communication accessible, not free, accessible.
Okay.
And now it was paid, and hence the Western countries, people who are able to pay, used it first. The emails, the letters does not exist anymore. I think I've not seen a post box for a long time, right? It's all emails, it's all phones, it's video chats, messaging, everything that you can think of. Internet that did that. It took time to reach to the social causes.
I understand. So this argument I've heard before, right? Governments and innovation. Probably I don't know. Again, they don't go hand in hand is a very extreme sentence to make. But again, there can be some hindrance. But we're talking about technologies that are just there, right? That are almost there. We are not talking about heavy investments. We are not talking about a AI-driven chatbot doctor. We are talking about just X-rays, right?
Correct.
Which is there. So it can. Governments
Government can, but I think they have bigger things to solve.
Fair enough. But I think AI has a big role to play, and not just
so.
AI, and technology in general, in terms of accessibility, it has a big role to play.
I think it will, and I think it will happen over time. I think it is a support that is required, it's the patience that is required, because I was reading some posts in your group today, in AM's Leader Council group, on how it takes to see a ROI of an AI lab.
R&D.
It takes time. And if somebody says that ROI of an AI, I get a hiccup. If you want to look at ROI, there is no short-term ROI. You're playing a big game when you're talking about AI. You're playing a big game. You're playing a long game. It happens over time. You have to invest that money now to give fruits 5 years later. So the first 5 years is not even ROI. It's a vision. So instead of taking AI and any automations, anything innovation that we can bring in terms of vision, I think the world is not lacking vision. The world has the vision. What it is lacking is, can you back it till the end?
The world is not lacking a vision is very.
No, I think the world is not lacking a vision. The world has vision. Everyone has idea. You have idea. The thing is, we don't do anything about the idea, or we don't have the means to think, like, how do I put that into action? I was taking a leadership seminar for V School. Interesting. So I asked students to define leadership. One of the definitions given was extremely nice, and I thought, that should become my tagline. Leaders, he's one who can show a path how to make a vision come to fruit. And I said, which is true. Just coming up with ideas, yeah, it's important. But going through the idea, I think that is bigger.
Yeah, I think one of the takeaways from it, and I think I want to have a very long debate with you on whether the world has a vision or not, but I think we'll go off topic. But technology takes time, right? That is what I say. So
it takes patience.
It takes patience.
And whether in terms of time or money.
Fair enough. One of the last questions, and this aspect I think is very important to cover, right? AI has already entered our lives. While we are talking about AI in 2023, there is a AI in 2022 that is directly impacting everyone, right? The conversations around the responsibility of it or the accountability of it always come last. Profits always trump accountability, responsibility, especially in a capitalist world, right? I personally, as a person, don't want to enter 2023 where that is the case, and I'll tell you why. Technology has done that before, but AI doing that at that scale is very scary. What is your take on this? What do you think is needed, even if you are developing AI for corporations in the Western world? What I think you will lay the foundation so that whoever starts developing AI for people or accessibility in India, is grown responsibility. What is your take on this, and how can we do that?
No, I think history has shown us enough circumstances where uh, bringing in regulations, bringing in government, bringing in restrictions, bringing in scrutiny too early can be devastative, too late can be harmful as well, right? And do we know everything? Probably not. But do we know enough? Do I think there has to be some kind of a government regulations to be brought? I think yes. I think responsible AI is big thing. Privacy is taking a beating, and everyone don't want their lives on a computer screen, right? Lives probably not in terms of acting out, but data of my life in the computer screen. I don't want it, but do I want my data to be help making a decision on someone else's credit worthiness? Yes.
Okay.
I want my data to be useful, but can you bring smart regulations where the data can be used without the privacy being lost? I think that it's a very gray area, right?
It is.
Difficult, but and these are the things I absolutely want the government to come in. There are policies that people are taking, like all the big companies, like the Google is going IDFA. They're not tracking
IDFA?
the user tax. Like when you are in using Google phones, you're tagged. Your whole history is tagged, everything, but they will not release your name, right, or your personal details. Nothing is released. The data is released, but not your personal details. So now
That can still impact communities, though.
it can, it can. I'm saying, look at the benefits. We don't want to stop the data sharing. We want to stop the privacy sharing, not data sharing. Data should be shared because data could be used. It can, so many things it can be solved, right? If I want to say which advertisement worked better, I can take a poll here in this room and tell, oh, this advertisement worked better. But now I just taken names, right? I don't want to take names. I want to take that data, remove the names, sanitize it, and then use it for research. The question becomes, can we trust that team or that group which is sanitizing these data? Can regulations be brought in there? I think so. I think a regulation should be part of it. I think responsible AI is a big topic. It will keep evolving. People will keep talking about it. I think government is already doing a lot. They're trying to do a lot. The whole GDPR thing with Europe is coming with privacy. The intent of GDPR might be financial systems, but the rules and regulations helps.
I'm a bit skeptical of regulations, and I'm a journalist, so I'm allowed to be. So, to be fair, but that's the thing, right? Maybe regulation. Let's say regulations don't work in an hypothetical world, or in the real world. But I've seen that one of the things is that if there is an incentive given to companies, right, to make that AI which is going to come in 2023. Then they will do it. So for example, if I say there is a third party auditor and it comes and say, what, your this thing is safe, AI is safe, the semantics of it are this thing, there's a lot of study in that as well. Do you think that that is something that is needed, where there's a third party auditor, a council of academics coming and certifying this thing?
Absolutely.
So that even the companies are incentivized then, rather than the regulations coming in, which is whole another.
No, I concur. So let me reiterate my point. My point was that there has to be regulation, there has to be a standards, right? Whether it comes through ISO like certification, something, that this is, or like, there is a FSSI regulation for food safety, right? That this food is coming from organic sources and blah blah. If there is a certification, and that certification gives you that incentive to use or follow that, I think that will be the most fabulous point to be done. And I think it has to be not by one government or one agency. I think it has to be a standard which cuts across country borders, because the country borders have already kind of evaporated. There is no border, we are all in a borderless world any which ways.
Okay.
Visa restrictions aside.
It's a whole another topic again. I think there's so many interesting threads to this conversation. But I think with that note, I would like to, come to an end this thing. Any last message that you would like to give enterprises? And I come to this question because I believe in AI. I have written about AI, I write about AI, I research about the technology. I think any technology can be used for good as well as bad. And I hope the ones that comes in 2023 and beyond is the one that is more inclusive and benefits everyone. Because while other technologies had a margin of error, AI has a very small margin of error, is what my understanding is. Any last messages?
No, I think my only big, two last comments on AI and immediate AI is, what will come in 2023 will be small part. Play the longer game. It is not, of course something has to come now, something will come later, but have the longer vision, longer game. I think all the industry has to have that bigger vision, create that, the grandeur vision and steps how to go. If the industry has to keep up to that vision, creating that pedagogy, creating that people required to get to those positions to do that, I think that becomes important. I think as a CSR, a lot of corporates and industry should take up education sector as their CSR initiative. I'm not saying CSR, I think that should be initiative. Amalgamation of these two industries, academics and industry, that's what is required, is crucial. It can enhance by 10 years or it can delay us by 10 years. And 10 years, it's a generation nowadays.
Very interesting conversation, Santosh. I look forward to what AI has in store. 2023 has in store for AI. We had a great, interesting conversation around this. Cypher, our flagship event is coming soon. We hope to have many interesting conversations around this. I hope to see you there as well.
Absolutely, would love to be part and continue the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you.